in book B, there is also a teacher guidebook available, which I strongly recommend of getting it, other than the student's book. I will talk about my first impression of the books. This series is designed for young beginners, 4, 5, or 6-year-old, and there are lots of short pieces where students get used to the steady beat, playing alternating hands, and along with each piece there's rhythm pattern chant. And here's another piece. So throughout the book, the student get to play small piece like this, and either with the fist or third finger, and still using third finger. That makes sense because middle finger is the strongest and easiest to control. And underneath each piece there is a keyboard diagram that's very intuitive for the student. They will know what keys they need to play and moving on which directions. I like it that it actually shows the entire range of the keyboard. The student know that the S1 means the starting position of the first hand, S2 means the starting position of the other hand, and the student will know that, oh, they are supposed to start right here and moving toward this direction, and the left hand starting right here and moving toward that direction. What's interesting that I have not noticed, but it was mentioned by Julie in our teacher discussion. She mentioned that there's no finger numbers, and it's a real shock for me to notice that as well. So there's no finger numbers introduced, and we don't even call left hand or right hand, just S1 for one hand, S2 for the other hand. So lots of concepts that I'm used to introduce to beginners are not included here. We just mentioned finger number and left hand and right hand. Also, I don't think that high and low is emphasized here. I may not know for sure. I still need to delve more into the method. But based on Eric wrote in this book, The Ways Children Learn Music, the practical guide to music learning theory, Eric mentioned about how high and low it's too abstract a concept for young students. So I imagine that maybe that's why in Marilyn's book I don't see the concept high and low as well. Let's flip to the back. Of description of keyboard pieces. Oh, prove me wrong. I just see that here it has keyboard register high and middle, and keyboard register high and treble, keyboard register low and bass. I'm not sure if she directly mentioned that to the student, but on the description of keyboard pieces, I like these 2 pages. It includes a summary of all the pieces. For example, if you look at the first piece, it shows the dynamic, and she liked to use the word a little soft, loud, a little loud, soft, and a tempo, a little fast, slow, fast, meter, duple, triple, piano keys used, set of 3 black keys, keyboard register, high and middle, hands, 2 hands placed separately, technique, arm movement with a soft fist, duet part. Young children can play using any fingers. So she encouraged children to, if they are curious, they can play the duet part as well. So this is what I like about the book. It has this summary at the end. my first impression of looking through this book, it's really not that different from the other method book out there. Lots of method book also use short piece like this and have student move all over the keyboard to steady beat, to teacher accompaniment. So just by looking at the pieces alone, it's really not that different. What I think the real interesting part of this book is actually not in the printed book. It is in a CD. If you look at table of contents, and these are the pieces, titles, but on CD track, number 1, it includes songs in different tonalities. Number 2, it has chants in different meters. Then comes the major tonal pattern, minor tonal pattern, duple meter rhythm pattern, triple meter rhythm patterns. So to me, these are the most important part of the MLT approach that I would like to try out. Eric, in his book, The Ways Children Learn Music, he mentioned about have the children learn the songs and chants first, pattern the second. So we can see that here in the layout too. Songs and chants first, then patterns second. The songs and chants are not, you cannot see the music in the student book. However, in the teacher's edition, you will be able to find the songs and chants, the score in teacher's book. And she has activity for songs. She recommends, for example, this song is in Lydian tonality, and she recommends different activities: flow, weight, space, time, tonal, rhythm activities. Amy did a wonderful demonstration of the activity in the Hangout. So here are the music score for the songs. This is what I like about the keyboard games music. I'll play a little bit so that you can hear what the songs and chants sound like. While the music is loading, I would like to talk a little bit about the tonality. Here, Lydian tonality, D is Fa, start on Fa. Lydian, if we go from Fa to Fa, that will give us the Lydian scale. So here it has the students starting singing on Fa, and we'll talk about at the end about Do-based tonal system. Okay, let me see if I can find the CD.
Music Moves for Piano, Keyboard Games, Book B.
Okay, let's have a listen of the songs.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
So this is the first song. Then the second song, as you may notice, no tonal syllable is included. It's just bum 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 like that. And let me play a little bit of the chants too. The chants are more complicated and advanced than the rhythm pattern. The rhythm chants are more complicated than the patterns. But I like that because the students are just trying to absorb and echoing back what they hear. They don't have to play it at this moment. The pattern that are what they are actually saying back and playing back on the keyboard. For example, this is the duple meter
duple meter rhythm patterns.
Ba 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 ba.
I don't think the pattern is included in the keyboard games book. It's probably just the audio. And here is an example of the major tonal patterns.
Major tonal patterns. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, I'll stop here. And this gives you some idea of the songs, chants, and patterns. I like what Eric said in his book that he always sing to the children the songs without the words. That way the children can really focus on the melody and the pitch. If you like to explore more songs and chants, or if you know more resources, I love to learn more too. But Eric, he mentioned that there's a book that has almost 200 songs and chants available. The book title is called Experimental Songs and Chants, Book 1 by Gordon. I look it up online. I think you can get that from Sheet Music Plus and even Amazon. It's only $14, so I plan to check it out later. Well, next I will talk about what MLT I struggle the most on page 126 of Eric's book. He discussed about the tonal syllable systems, and there are lots of different tonal syllable systems. For example, interval names. Number 2, using numbers. 3, fixed do system. 4, moved do with a do-based minor. And 5, movable do with a la-based minor. What Marilyn and Eric recommend, and I believe that's probably what Gordon think as well, is the only tonal system that foster audiation is the last one, which is movable do with la-based minor. That's a real challenge for me because I'm used to movable do with do-based minor, and I always sing different tonalities starting on do. So it will be a real challenge for me to change that, but I'm open to try that and see how it goes. And what's interesting is on the next few pages he explained the differences between those syllable systems. I couldn't quite understand totally and would love to hear more insight about that. He gave a few reasons that why do-based minor is not really preferable. I love to learn more about that. And lastly, I would like to say that what I plan to implement this in my teaching. I would like to try the keyboard games music with a total brand new beginners and just use this method alone when I have a new student come along. But other than that, I will definitely use the songs and chants that I played for you earlier. I will use that for all the students and to apply the whole, WHOLE, whole part, whole concept